Welcome back to the $2 Film Club. It's a new week, so new episode, and today we are diving headfirst into the pile of shit that is known as the Jurassic World trilogy because as you probably know, the new Jurassic World Rebirth is in theaters, and also I saw that it's doing quite well, which is honestly very surprising. I wasn't sure exactly how interested the public was in these movies anymore, but apparently, the last one made like $1 billion at the box office. So I don't know.
Yuck.
I don't understand. Yeah, I really don't
Yuck.
understand people like. I'm so surprised that this franchise is going strong because it kind of reminds me of like the Transformers movies.
I'd still rather
And
watch all of those than like Fallen Kingdom, Dominion, and this last one. Literally any day of the week. Like,
it is.
please.
I don't know. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think these movies can sometimes be a little less stupid than the Transformers ones, but I would say that the Transformers ones are at least somewhat more interesting to watch. But that's neither here nor there. Um, I
Oh,
don't know.
to add
I
on.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say to add on to like your box office thing. I don't think this new one is gonna be as popular as these last three Jurassic World films.
I don't
Like,
know. The thing is that that one seems to be getting better reviews than the last one.
honestly, that's not saying much when Dominion literally got some of the most dog shit reviews on this planet. Like you know when we were talking about Jurassic World, not Jurassic World 3, Jurassic Park 3, and you
Hmm.
know that scene where Alan has to just like they all have to start digging through shit to find the microphone, that
The satellite
the
phone.
satellite phone. Yeah, bro, that's how it kind of feels like. I once we started talking about Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, that for this new one to get better reviews, I don't think it's a tall task to
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Like, no matter how fucking short the turnaround time is for how, like, bro, this one took a year to make, film, like write, film, edit, everything. Just took a year, and
Yeah, it
like
is really
I've
crazy
seen it. You
how.
could tell. But like, I'd still rather watch that shit than Dominion. But we should do that at the end of this. We should do a ranking, um,
Well, mine
because
will be incomplete because I haven't seen Rebirth yet.
that doesn't matter. I can leave Rebirth out, but I can put it in too, just for shits and gigs. But
I
I'm
am
more
curious where you think
curious.
it ranks on the
Oh God,
spectrum.
I think people might actually get like confused with my rankings, but I like that because I think for some reason talking about the like way people talk about the Jurassic World films is I feel like people talk way harsher about Jurassic World, like
Like
it
the
being a
original one.
remake. No, yeah, like the very first one with Chris Pratt, like people undermine it because it plays so much like the first one. But then that's the exact compliments I'm seeing people give this new one, and then
Hmm.
everyone hates the second and third one for how dog shit of an idea that they like bro, I hate to be
Well,
so
I think that's.
crass with
I
my
think that's.
words, but like the Jurassic World is so much more fun, and like yeah, it plays it like it did. It's really called Jurassic World. Like, come on, people. It's not trying to hide that it's not doing the same thing, but at least it's fun in doing it, and it's a popcorn film, as where like Fallen
Yeah,
Kingdom and Dominion are just like, okay, when the fuck is this film gonna end? Put me in this
yeah,
95,
and
100
they're the
degree
longest
weather
ones too.
by like an extra 25, 40 minutes.
Fucking.
Like,
Yeah, we'll get into the other two, but I just before we start digging into well, not digging into Jurassic World, but like before we start talking about that one, I do want to mention that the first one is good. Like you were saying, it's a good popcorn movie. It's just crazy how hard the fall off is once you get into Fallen Kingdom. And I think the biggest problem with these movies, like as a franchise, is that it's really hard for them to like justify any like
conjure any
new
idea.
directions that they try to go in. It's really hard to make it work without. And I think Jurassic World and because Jurassic World and Jurassic Park are so like similar in terms of like story elements, it really becomes apparent that you can't there's nothing more to tell with the story like outside of that original core idea. And so, yeah, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Jurassic World, the 2015 film. that introduced us to arguably one of the most bland Pratt characters I've ever seen.
Bro, I don't care what you have to say. I was thinking so hard while watching this movie, the hype around Chris Pratt, because like I don't think. Were you even like there between his transition through Parks and Recreation and this film?
So I've never seen Parks and
Oh
Recreation.
my god, dude!
My introduction to Chris Pratt was through Guardians of the Galaxy, and but I do remember at the time there was a big thing about like, oh, he's more of a or a comedy actor, and people didn't see him as like the leading man. So I do remember that, but I'm not really. I never got into Parks and Recreation, so
Well, it's kind of funny because I think like the Peter Quill role in Guardians of the Galaxy fits more of what he was doing in Parks and Recreation, and it
yeah, I
kind of
guess it's a
feels
comedic
like
role.
it's very comedic, but like I hate to say it in like it's not. I don't want to mean to say this in like a derogatory way, but like he just plays it really stupid, really well. Like he just plays a really good idiot, but like a
Yeah,
likable idiot who like isn't like someone who's trying to do something ill intentionally. Whereas
yeah,
like with Owen Grady, like I can't forget that fucking name, bro. For some reason, like there's something about it that's just iconic. But like yeah, he between those two roles in this, it kind of did a 180 where he's just this stoic badass who'll just drop like a straight lined quip, which was very unusual, at least for like I didn't watch all of Parks and Recreation as they released. Like I caught up towards like that last season or two when he started like shedding the weight for Guardians of the Galaxy. Like it's
mm,
really funny because it's between season 7 and season 8 that he loses all the weight. So I think I forgot. I think there's an episode in the last season where it's like a two-parter. They go to London or something, and like they're just like standing around, and like all of a sudden Andy looks fucking shredded, but they still put like these really baggy clothes over him. And I forgot which character mentions it, but they're like, "What did you do over the past month, Andy, to get super thin?" He's like, "Oh, I just stopped drinking some beer." And so the whole transition of his character arc as an actor is really interesting around this time, and I think you
yeah.
see it full front in Jurassic World.
Well, I think my main problem with it, like, cause like he doesn't have much to do, and I really realized this after going from Fallen Kingdom into Jurassic World Dominion. His character is so like useless, and they don't really give him much to do, and I was just so weird to me. Like it got to the point in Dominion where Owen, well, like when the plane is crashing, Owen tells fuck, now I can't remember her name. What's Bryce Dallas Howard's character name?
Oh, Claire.
Claire. Yeah. He tells Claire that she should be the one to go find their adoptive daughter. Fuck, I can't remember her name. The Lockwood girl, Maisie.
Macy.
That's how boring these characters are. I can't fucking remember their names. Um, because she there's only one ejector seat slash parachute or whatever. It was all dumb, but he was saying that to her, and it was supposed to be really like emotional. Um, and I just the whole time I was watching it, I was like, why? Like the whole time, like literally the start of the movie, we can clearly tell that she has a better relationship with Owen than she does with Claire. And so the whole time I'm just wondering like why. And then I came to that realization like they really don't want to give Pratt's character anything to do that isn't like action oriented, and it really bugs me.
The problem is they write a CD character and make them the star, and they don't add anything to it. And so they write around it rather than writing the character itself. And so
Yeah.
once you get past of, oh, he's a badass that can control raptors and gets with a really cute redheaded girl at the end who
Mm,
helps saves her nephews.
nephews.
Yeah, I didn't like remember their relationship for a second. Like
Yeah.
that's how bad it is. Like I remember just after that first after Jurassic World, just thinking like man, I'd rather had seen like her two nephews come back. Like that.
Yeah,
That I find that very ironic with the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. They both have two sibling characters that I'd rather have come back in the next films that they
then
replace with
creating
even
random new
yeah
characters.
random even worse younger characters that I care even less about.
Yeah. Well,
Like
that's the thing too is like we already don't care that much about the characters cuz like they're fine in the first one. You know, you have the kind of relationship between Claire and Owen, but a lot of that movie is also about, you know, the brotherly relationship between the nephews, and then also like Claire, you know, learning that she needs to take more of an interest in their lives. That's a weird way of saying it, but you know what I mean. But then like they never come back, and then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom kind of like starts it all over again because Owen and Claire aren't together anymore, and then they get together by the end again, and then in this one they have, you know, Maisie, and they're trying to figure out that relation. I don't know, it just felt like very redundant and repetitive a lot of the time. And
well,
then
that's what they all turn into. I mean, think
yeah.
about it. Like Doctor Wu, my guy,
Oh my god, don't
is
even get me
literally
started.
the same thing happens in every single film. He's a guy well, he just turns out to be the guy behind the main bad guy in the film you're watching.
Yeah.
Like in Jurassic World, oh, he's working with Vincent D'Onofrio.
I
In the
always forget
second
he's in this
one,
movie.
yeah, exactly. In Fallen Kingdom, it's like, oh, he's working for the nephew. That's really bad. Oh, he's the one like behind the scenes, and then in the fucking Dominion, he's the one who created all the locusts. Like, and it always comes back to him regretting his decision because it always ends in monumental failure.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many times can you guys do that? You've done it three fucking times. Like, I regret my review for Rebirth because that would have been the perfect review. Is I'm shocked at the end, Dr. Henry Wu isn't turned out to be the guy behind everything. Like,
Yeah. You know, I think it's a good time to talk about this movie in particular, its weird relationship to the original movies, because one of the things that I don't like about this movie, and it gets worse in the next ones, is that they reference the original Jurassic Park quite a bit, but in your head you're always trying to like do mental gymnastics to like link them. Because I remember when I first saw this, I remember like them the two nephews going into the the that old building, and you know they see all of the props from the original park, and then they get in the car from the original park, and I was like, oh, that's a cute little nod. But I don't remember the like constant references that they make in the first like act of the movie to the original park. Like I don't remember the dude who the guy from New Girl, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I got this original park T-shirt for like $150 on eBay or whatever." Like they keep, and then I also don't remember them name dropping John Hammond like several fucking times. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm just like, you know, I feel like this movie works better as like a reboot and not like a soft reboot, because it is really weird that like I don't know, I always have trouble justifying in my head, like logically wise, how anybody would ever think this is a good idea after three other movies of us being shown that it's not a good idea.
and they keep like, dude, they keep mentioning it over and over
Yeah,
again.
they keep mentioning how
it's,
fucking horrible the original park was and how people fucking died. And I'm like, and you know, guys don't see a problem with genetically engineering a fucking new species of dinosaur. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's one of the main gripes that I have. But other than that, like with this movie specifically, you know, for the most part, it's a fun watch. Like, I don't, this for this one, like we're gonna tear into like the plot logic of all of these movies, or at least the next two. But I do want to hammer home the point. Like, Jurassic World is fine. Like,
because
there's
it's
it's
so to the books. It just plays it like the first one.
yeah, it reminds me a lot of like the Force Awakens. And I know a lot of people, you know, Star Wars fans are a little much, you know, but I like The Force Awakens for what it is, and I like this movie for what it is. It's a fun return to basics, and I'm kind of starting to wish that they just left it at that, because yeah, I hadn't watched this movie in such a long time, and part of that's because I knew that the Jurassic World movies as like a series weren't as well received, and so I kind of just tried to stay away from Jurassic World. But in rewatching it, I kind of rediscovered why I liked it in the first place. Because it is, it's not as masterful and as technically
Skill.
yeah, technically skilled as the original Jurassic Park. But there's a lot of good moments in here, and the characters are serviceable for the plot. Most of the fun is just from the idea of like, oh, there's
Seeing
this
like a
this
fully
new,
functional park, like
yeah,
seeing like an actual mass and not like this select few trying to judge it. Because like I
yeah,
think that's like the cool part about it. Like is after the Indominus Rex breaks out, it's not like the first one where the T Rex breaks out and like all hell breaks loose. Is I
yeah. It's a
like the
slow build up.
momentum. Yeah, I like the slow buildup of them trying to stop the Indominus before it gets to the main like crowd of everybody. And then
Yeah,
you know what, I liked it early on with like the genetically modified dinosaurs before they became like too ridiculous. Like I like the idea of mixing a velociraptor and a T-Rex, and like they do it
yeah.
again, and they literally just replicate the same fucking main dinosaur for Fallen Kingdom, and instead of making a T-Rex, it's just a velociraptor. Like guys, let's get with ourselves, but that's neither here or there. But it's fun in that aspect.
Yeah, I do think this is the only movie where the whole like, because I think I texted it to you earlier about like I hate how these movies sort of become like Alien, in that like they keep making new
You'll hate the new
ones.
one.
And I like this is the only movie in which that idea of like a new species, like they created their own dinosaur, works. And because it was interesting, it was new and interesting. We've seen, you know quote unquote real dinosaurs from all the other ones, and now where there's this new threat and they're not prepared for it. That's the one thing that kind of justifies the story of this new one. um and I do like how they use the dinosaur, like that first scene where like it escapes and we're introduced to it.
It's really well done.
It is really well done, and I really like it's a smart scene, and like that just sets the stage for everything that comes after. um and yeah, I don't know, like it just feels like all of the pieces feel more complete in this one than they do the other ones.
Yeah, it's obvious that they're not like bogged down by trying to tell a first, second, and third act structure,
Yeah.
because there's really no story to this outside of greedy company wants to make bigger, angrier, scarier dinosaurs to keep people intrigued with coming back, which is, I just think, a pretty crazy fucking idea, because just the ideas of going to a island dedicated for dinosaurs as a theme park just already seems cool enough no matter what you do to it. Like that
Hmm.
just never seems like an idea that gets boring to me. But like I also don't live in a world full of dinosaurs, so you know what? I can't sit here and say they're wrong for that.
Hmm.
Um but like I like the moment at the end where they finally like confront the Indominus at night by using the raptors. But then it's like the kind of whammy, like of course, why would you not think that a T-Rex Velociraptor mix can't communicate with Velociraptors? And like it's the
Oh,
whole trying to trying to control nature that Grady also tries to do. That I don't, I like the different ideas of the nature that like Grady's trying to control with the Raptors as compared to the one grown in a
Velociraptors.
lab
Yeah.
with the Indominus Rex, because it didn't have like the care and nurture like
Well, see,
Blue
that's
Delta
what I
had.
like. Yeah,
Like
that's what I like more
there's
about this
something there.
movie, is that like thematically, if everything that happens kind of feels relevant. Like on a surface level, like on paper, it kind of sounds dumb. Like, oh, there's a fully functional park. Oh, Chris Pratt can wave his hand and control dinosaurs. But when you're watching it unfold, it makes sense. And I like how a big part of this movie is like Claire kind of realizing that these dinosaurs are living animals, and a lot of it is again like sort of that like animal rights thing, that or that environmentalism idea. And the other thing too is like, even with Chris Pratt being able to like, it's not really control the dinos or the raptors, but like to be able to like communicate with them and like empathize with them, like have like an emotional connection with them. That's so in opposed to like that idea of Vincent D'Onofrio's character, where he's like, no, we control them. Like, you know, it's yeah. I really like that play, or that contrast of ideas between the two different characters.
Yeah, and I do enjoy that they show the both sides of it rather than, oh yeah, we tried and we failed, and look what
Hmm.
happened, everyone dies. And like, you know what? There's just so much fun in the idea of watching like all these pterodactyls swinging in and picking people up. Like, there's always like that funny scene of the assistant getting picked up and then just getting overkilled beyond
Oh
belief.
yeah.
And it's just like so ridiculous. Like, of course that would happen, and then of course, like, it's just so funny, and I love that they didn't take that aspect of it too seriously where the
Hmm.
first film did, and I think it leaned into more of I don't want to say the goofier ideas, but the more like action mainstream ideas
Yeah, the
where,
schlock,
yeah, the schlocky
the
aspects where,
blockbuster
yeah,
schlock.
the black, but like I don't think they're treating it like schlock. You know what I mean? I think they're
Yeah,
treating it as more like, let's have fun here rather
yeah,
than let's just bog it down a little bit
yeah. I
because we
mean, the
have
next
all these
movies,
really
what the
irrelevant
next movies did.
characters. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
But yeah, and also like that last, like the climax of this movie. I don't know if you saw what my review was, but I'll say it later. But I really do like that ending scene. Like, you think on paper, like, oh, because we're gonna make fun of the other movies for doing something similar, but in this one it works. Like when Blue teams up with the T Rex to fight the Indominus. I don't know why. I got tingles all over. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, this works for this movie, because it does build up, the idea of they really can't do anything else, or the humans. And I like how the humans are involved, and like Claire, takes the idea from the kid to go get the dinosaur, and there's a callback to the original with the flare. And then they use like that connection that Owen has with Blue and the Raptors, and it all culminates in this really nice fucking 2v1 fight that I would like. Though when I was watching, I was just like,
But
damn,
that's
I
the
forgot
ending of
how good this
of
was.
Jurassic Park. Like, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of raptors. Fucking. Oh wait. I guess not essentially,
It
but
is
like,
it is a little similar,
it's a
but this one's more action oriented. Like the
it's
draw
two
is.
on one rather than just fighting each other. But it's still raptors fighting a T Rex.
In the first one, it's more that the T Rex kills all of the raptors, but I don't know. I liked it in this one. Like, in this one, it was more spectacle oriented, and in the original, it was just more of like, nature taking its course. And this one also goes a little over the top in that what is it, Mesosaurus or something?
Yeah, the
Like, does
Mesosaurus.
the final kill. That was pretty cool too.
See, like that's so like I like the nighttime parts of this movie too. Pretty much the third act because there's something so cool watching like the dinos running around, uh, just like the park that's lit up with electricity. I don't know. I just thought it was cool. Like it's just a really cool shot at the end with the Mosasaurus just like grabbing and biting him down with just like the
Yeah.
park lights on, but it's vacant at the same time. Uh, Little things like that I think are cool. But as we all know, this is the fourth Jurassic Park film in the franchise, now on seven. But in May 2001, Steven Spielberg had his production company, Amblin Entertainment, try to commence a development on a bunch of different ideas for Jurassic Park 4 that he eventually planned to produce, which didn't fall through. Joe Johnson, who was the director of Jurassic Park 3, had absolutely no interest in doing a fourth film.
Well, I think it's funny that he says that he didn't, but he was attached to this project several times.
Yeah, right. He's just like, because I just don't think he found like. I'm not saying Jurassic Park 3 was like a mainstream success like all the others per se,
I
but
mean, it
in
did
terms
okay,
of
didn't it?
like what he's done, it is. So I get like why he'd want to.
Well, I just think I think after doing the third one, he kind of realized that maybe working on these wasn't as big of a dream as he thought they'd be. Because we talked about in the last one, the production of that movie was very very complicated. And yeah, I don't know. It's just the problem is that Steven Spielberg and all of these other people were like, "Oh, let's make another Jurassic Park movie," but then they start doing other projects. I think that's the thing is that they say that they want to do one, and then they're constantly trying to find an excuse not to. And that like, oh, I'm working on this right now though, like and I understand wanting to have like that artistic, you know, authority to be like, oh, I want to finish what I'm working on right now, but it's just a constant reminder to me at how much steam this franchise is running out of, and that nobody ever wants to commit to making these movies. Because even
But
Colin Trevorrow in the next one, he didn't direct that one. I didn't know that until I
no, but
watched
he
the movie.
wrote he still wrote it in the one after, like co-wrote it per se. So he
Yeah.
still had influence in it. But I will say, I don't think anything could have been for how stupid of an idea Jurassic Park 4's original
Oh
few
yeah.
scripts were. Because I know me and you spoke about this the other day, but in
Yeah.
like
It's
two,
horrible.
dude, in 2002, William Monahan was brought on as the screenwriter, and then there was a release date set for like around mid 2005. Kathleen Kennedy and Steven Spielberg would come back respectively as producer and executive producer. But so some of the early story ideas had the dinosaurs migrating to Costa Rican mainland, which is like not a spoiler, but like that's an idea they use in the new one. But this
Hmm.
this film would see Alan Grant and Ian Malcolm come back because they'd do an expedition to an offshore island to discover the dinosaurs are breeding freely, which I already thought was like a pretty basic idea. Like, why would you guys already set up the idea that
Yeah,
they
it was
could,
established.
yeah, right? So I already thought that was a weird setup to have them go to an island breeding where they're free, which sure, but part of the plot included characters devising a way to restrict the spread of dinosaurs and but to prevent an ecological disaster, which we also see come back up in Dominion, but like they never explain what that ecological disaster is. So I would believe that it might have been early ideas of what turned out to be locusts. But some
God, I
early
hope that's not true.
concepts, bro. Listen to this part. Some early concept depicted genetically engineered human dinosaur hybrid mercenaries. And in
Every
Monahan's
every
first
every
draft,
sentence of this summary gets dumber and dumber.
bro, each sentence gets worse. Wait till I
It
get to the next
does.
paragraph. Just wait till the next
Oh,
paragraph.
God.
But in Monahan subsequently left the project to work on Kingdom of Heaven. He
That's
was
crazy
then
because that's a good movie.
yeah, bro, a massive upgrade, massive upgrade. But John Slays then replaced him, wrote two drafts of the script. In one of those, a new character, a mercenary named Nick Harris, would be charged with training a team of genetically modified. Don't kill me for saying this dinosaur's name, but Dinophosaurus for the use of a rescue mission and to combat drug dealers. The concept of a human who trains
What's worse than
dinosaurs,
dinosaurs? Drugs.
dude. I don't
That's that's,
know.
that's such a that's such a 2000 mentality
That
to
is
have.
such an early two as well. Yeah, such an early 2000s mentality. But the concept of human trains a dinosaur came from Spielberg by April 2005. The film had been postponed, and Spielberg was dissatisfied with the script revisions. Like, dude, how could you not be? That sounds fucking awful.
It
Like,
really
what?
does. As much as we make, or as much as we're gonna make fun of the next two, like, thank God they never made that movie. That sounds
At least they
so
were smart enough to
ridiculous.
think it was stupid before they gave it the green light.
I know. I can't I can't wrap my head around. Like you said that you couldn't really imagine what that would look like, and I can't either because it sounds so absurd.
Yep. And like you were mentioning before, by 2005, after Spielberg left, Frank Marshall came on. And then it was just a cycling of people between Joe Johnston coming back
Twice.
twice, like in 2006, 2007. And then there was a release date for 2008 that was delayed to 2009. And then by 2010, Johnston came back again and then planned to do a trilogy, not just one, but a whole trilogy. And then he did Captain America, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I like Jurassic Park 3. And, I like some of Joe Johnston's other films. So part of me is very curious, like how different this trilogy would have, panned out if he had directed them. Part of me wants to believe that they would have been better. Like as much as I
It could
like
have been something.
this iteration of Jurassic World, the 2015 movie, I don't know. I just think Jurassic Park 3 is a lot of fun, and Fallen Kingdom and Dominion are not.
I don't know. I just like the way Jurassic World also just looks compared to the next two. Um,
Mm,
Dominion, I think,
Dominion
is
looks like shit.
ugly as shit.
It's
But I think
the most
when
uninspired fucking movie I've ever seen.
I think AJ Bayona does a decent enough job for what the script allows him to do with being stuck in a fucking mansion for most of the film. Um, but
Yeah,
it's a relatively darkish film, but like super bright and vibrant colors throughout that
yeah,
just make this a good time.
yeah. I part of me really wants to. I don't know how do I even explain this. I don't know. Maybe we should just get into Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Okay, I love, bro. You can tell me fucking faster. Each film we get into, the more I'm gonna rip into them. That's how it's gonna
Yeah,
work.
I just so this movie is not as bad as I was originally led to believe. Because I don't know if you guys, or yeah, I don't know if you remember, but um, in the previous episode, I had said that I had only seen Jurassic World. When Fallen Kingdom was coming out, I lost all interest in the franchise because I heard that it was really really bad. And I had heard some things, like I knew that Maisie was a clone. Although when I went into watching this, I thought that I could have swore I heard somewhere that she was a clone that was made using like dinosaur DNA, and I'm really glad they didn't go with that because it sound well. I mean, based on the fucking thing that we just went over, it sounds like something stupid that they would try to do. Um, but I don't know. I The whole idea of her being a clone just is it means nothing, and it's so meaningless that they had to invent a reason in the next one. But we'll get into that. But yeah, and so yeah, I knew about that everyone hated it, and I knew that halfway through the movie they switch gears and it becomes a completely different plot, and people hated that. So I avoided this movie at all costs. I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm done with the franchise. And then Jurassic World Dominion came out, and I saw, oh, they're bringing back the new ones. But then I saw the trailer, and I was hearing it was bad, and I was like, I'm not going to watch these. So that was the extent of what I knew about these movies.
That's I think that's the biggest issue with Fallen Kingdom. It's the tale of two halves. It
Yeah.
feels like they had it feels like they had the idea of a fourth act for Jurassic World, and then the first act of Dominion. And
Mm.
then they didn't know what to do with either one of those and just put them together. Because all
Well,
I'm much more. I want to see the first half of this film. I want to see a full version of
yeah.
that.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. I don't hate the setup of both halves of these movies. Like I think the concept behind each half is solid on paper. I feel like this movie justifies the characters going back much better than any of the other ones. And I was actually interested in watching, that movie, but this movie abandons that concept so fast that I was honestly shocked.
It's really jarring. That's what's upsetting.
Not even 30 minutes into this movie, it's quickly revealed that they're there under false pretenses, and um, everything like just goes to shit. And I was so baffled, and it's only because they market it solely on that being the plot of this movie, only for them to immediately just hard like right turn. I There's things like the idea of like, I've heard like the second half compared to like Resident Evil with a dinosaur. Like that idea, like that sounds interesting, but not in this movie. This movie is just such a weird like collection of some of the most random ideas with no connective tissue.
Hey, bro, Dr. Henry Wu's behind this all again, bro. What do you mean
Yeah,
there's no
but I mean
connective
like
tissue?
like how we get from point A to point B
Makes no
is
sense.
yeah, it makes no sense, to the point where it's hard to enjoy the good things about this movie. Like individual scenes will be good on their own, but immediately when you look at them under like the greater context of the movie, it completely falls apart.
And it's really weird because right after Jurassic World had come out, or during early conversations about the Jurassic World film, Colin Trevorrow had mentioned that he was interested in making several more films after Jurassic World. And this is a quote. He said in 2014 that he wanted to create something less arbitrary and episodic that could possibly arc into a series that would feel like a complete story. And he couldn't have gone anything
Bullshit.
further away from that. Anything further away from that.
These movies are so disconnected from each other. It's
And
crazy.
they couldn't feel anything but episodic. Like
This entire fucking movie is fucking episodic.
like I
Like this
said,
one
Tale of Two
movie.
Halves. It's
Exactly.
it's the end of one movie and the beginning of one just smushed together because they didn't know how to make them work. And
Yeah.
the worst thing too is they replace every mid to decent character, because at least like I forgot what his name from New Girl was that played Lowry in the last film.
Yeah.
He's just so funny. I
Yeah.
like him as an actor. I think his name is like Jake something. But he's really funny, and I thought the moments that he offered comedy, and like, dude, the moment he thought he was doing like the sacrificial heroic thing and going to kiss the woman, it was just so well done. And they replace all of the funny, like actually funny actors in that last film with miserably unfunny actors in this film. Like,
I
what
like
what's their name?
is it what, TJ Smith or something?
T.J. Smith.
Or sorry,
What?
Justice Smith.
Justice Smith. Yeah, Justice
Yeah.
Smith is unfucking bearable in this movie.
Okay, he's not
I'm
that bad. I actually
sorry.
kind of liked his character. The character that I really didn't like was the other one, the paleo veterinarian lady. She's not very interesting.
Neither one of
Uh
them are. He's just more annoying. That's the
that's
issue.
fair. That's fair. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I agree with what you're saying. Like it would have been
Sacrifice him
so
to the
much more
dinos.
interesting to bring back that Lowry character, and then they opt to just cast completely different characters.
And the thing that makes this more upsetting to me is they joke about him getting hired in the next film by the CIA under like a dinosaur division.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's so
So,
dumb.
bro, if you're gonna joke about it, I'm even more mad because they just keep making worse and worse characters with each film, and that's what I don't get. I like each the like the nephew character and the unexplained secondary character that created Jurassic Park with John Hammond are so
Oh my god, don't even get me
shoehorned
started.
in, bro, that
Fucking
I'm just like,
Christ.
can you guys do anything? Please, please. This is awful storytelling. Please stop creating all this shit.
The introduction of the Lockwood character is
So
so
forced.
goddamn ridiculous. When that happened, it's the same idea as like them. They keep creating more islands for them to go and explore. I'm just like, I'm sorry. I've seen all of these movies, and why the fuck is it only now? And their fucking excuse is that, oh well John Hammond and Lockwood had a falling out. I'm like, that's dumb. That's fucking dumb. Why? Why? And also the excuse is like, oh well, it's because he cloned his daughter, which isn't true, by the way. But we'll talk about that. But the excuse in the movie is that he cloned his daughter. But why the fuck would a pre Jurassic Park, like the movie, the events of those movies, why would a pre Jurassic Park John Hammond ever fucking care about the moral implications of cloning a human being?
He
That's
didn't
the
think
whole idea.
yeah.
That's the
Like,
whole point of the first fucking movie, is that he doesn't care and he fucking creates these monsters essentially, and it costs the lives of several people. Like, I don't know, it's just, it's all so stupid. And then, and imagine, so imagine while I'm watching this for the first time, hearing those words, and in the back of my head I'm like, so damn, this girl is, a dinosaur clone. Which I didn't know wasn't true until the later in the movie. So all of that just in my head, I'm just like, this is so unbelievably stupid.
the thing that bothers me is I feel like they do so much over explanation to get them to the island as well, like to get like the who done, not the who done it, but like the plot twist of, oh, you guys are getting duped, like you're just here to get us in, really, and fuck you, we're gonna let you die here so you don't tell people about what we're actually trying to do. When to me, I don't remember if we'd spoken about this before, but I think out there was some idea at some point to bring that the barstool,
Oh, the
the
Barbasol
the
can.
Barbasol can from the first film back, where it had like all the dinosaur DNA in it and shit like that. And I know in the first film they explain like it can't go more than like 24, 48 hours, whatever it is,
Do they
before.
actually explain that?
Yeah, they say like you have no more than like 6 hours or like 13
Oh yeah,
hours to
because of the
get to us
cooling thing, right?
because of the cooling agent.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
feel like they could do some stupid ass science explanation to be like, oh, it got stored underneath the Earth's surface for so long that it stayed cold. To have them like go back and like try to find it after being like, oh, these things were stolen from the island, because they figured it out that he stole shit. Like, come on, guys,
Well, I don't know. I think it's crazy that,
and just have them
the
like go
Barbasol
back.
can is the one like plot device that's never used in these movies. It's even more irritating in the next one when we see it, like the
Yeah,
prop. But because I was telling you, and I'm really annoyed that I found this out after we did our episode on the original Jurassic Park trilogy. But because I don't know, when you're watching Jurassic Park, it lingers on the moment of like the can being lost, or being covered up by mud, and you kind of think like they're
that's
gonna do
why I
something with
had that
that.
thought.
But that's
Like,
the thing, is that Steven Spielberg originally, when gearing up to direct The Lost World, he was like, oh, that would be an interesting thing, is to, to bring the Barbasol can back. But then, but this is why it's really irritating, is because of how the original Jurassic Park novel ends, and Steven Spielberg like essentially didn't want to make The Lost World, um, without Michael Crichton being involved, or he wanted to wait until Michael Crichton agreed to write the sequel to the novel. And I don't know, it's even more stupid because fucking, they essentially disregard everything that's in the original novel anyways. But essentially what happened was, in the original novel of Jurassic Park, the Costa Rican government bombs the shit out of the island. And so, to justify the plot of the Lost World, Jurassic Park, the novel, the sequel novel, Michael Crichton had to create a whole different island, and that was what they used as the premise for the Lost World Jurassic Park the movie. So that is why we have the stupid idea of there being a separate island to the one that we saw in Jurassic Park, and that's why the other two movies solely focus on that aspect, and why the Barbasol can completely disappears.
I hate it. I hate everything about it, Leo.
It is really
Um,
stupid. Like, I don't know. It's just so obvious when you look back and be like, oh yeah, the Barbasol can, that would be the starting point for the sequel, and then no.
And it kind of just always adds insult to injury because when I watch the film and they ultimately get to like the bidding part where they're bidding on the dinosaurs, is I kind of think about this about how stupidly cheap all these dinos are going for. And if you just brought back like maybe 20 of the vials that were stolen from like in that Barbasol can, like
Mm-hmm.
just overprice each one and you'd make probably 20 times whatever you'd make just doing that auction, and you'd save yourself from the disaster that unfolds.
Mm.
You wouldn't have to worry about sending anyone outside of the people you're already sending to the island. Like they all their whole plan didn't need to happen. Like this is why I'm angry about this, is because I'm being told that they thought heavily about where this story character and the arcs were going, but it feels like a bunch of rinse and repeat of ideas that we didn't just see in the last film, but we saw in the three before that. Like, come on, guys. It's just super redundant beyond belief, but also just being really boring, where at least the first film didn't have that downside of being boring, you know?
Yeah, I I don't even know. Like, my brain is just hurting from having to think about all this again
Well,
because it's
it's
just so
just mind
stupid.
numbing because, like, I don't want to talk about it just yet because it absolutely infuriates me, the ending of the film. With the
It's like,
whole where she's just like, but I'm like them, and then smashes the open button. Like, fucking get out of here,
oh,
bro.
yeah. I listen. I understand the whole
I
idea
understand
of
the
like,
idea. It doesn't mean it works. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
the idea of like, oh, these are animals and they shouldn't be treated cruelly. But I mean, I don't know. They were gonna die anyways, and also like because and that was another thing. Like I remember like seeing that moment, like that clip, and being and also at that point I was told, oh, she's a dinosaur, like she has dinosaur DNA or something. So I thought that was the justification for it, but it's
She's a
equally
dinosaur.
it's more dumb that she's not, like she's just a clone of like a regular human. And I'm just like, I don't understand why you feel this connection to them. And on top of the fact that it's really dumb. Like obviously these dinosaurs are dangerous, and loosing them upon the world, like unknowingly, the world is just gonna have dinosaurs roaming around. It's just so stupid. And the next movie like points it out too, like how bad it is of an idea.
Constantly, and then that's the problem. Like, fucking Ian Malcolm comes back in the second film, fucking Fallen Kingdom, to repeat the same phrase he said in the first one, to repeat the same phrase he said in the second film, not word for word, but like the same basic idea of like his concept. And then he comes back and says it in fucking Dominion. And you know what? He's right every single fucking time, and no one can listen to him. The dude can even go to fucking court, and people will sit there and be like, "La di da di da," fucking fist up their ass. It's just mind-boggling. Like all the problems going on in the world by Dominions, like by the time Dominion comes, I say, good riddance. I'm shocked you guys haven't blown yourselves like to fucking smithereens by now. And that's coming from a fucking political world we live in right now. Like, come on, people. Like, how many more times are you gonna let dinosaurs run free on your fucking planet? It's happened 3 times before they finally taken over. Which, spoiler, they haven't by the end of the Dominion. I'm over
Well, see,
this.
that's the thing
I'm
is
over
that
it.
like the idea of dinosaurs like coming to the mainland has always been one that like the franchise has been interested in. But I think it's funny that in Jurassic Park 3 and then, the scrapped Jurassic Park 4, they always like, leaned away from that idea because they couldn't make it work. And then finally we have a movie, like two movies that are dedicated to that. Well, not dedicated, but that, have that idea in them, and they just fail so hard at like making it believable and making it interesting. I just think that's the problem. Is like they're trying to find a way to make these movies like worth watching and like to justify their existence, but they're just so bad at doing that because they're so stupid. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, there's no way That's why all of these movies, aside from the ones that share that like core idea, are good.
And that's why Fallen Kingdom and Dominion are Dominion Doo.
Yeah, and
Just not good.
yeah, there's scenes in this movie that I like. There's elements to it that I think are interesting, but they're just not handled in an exciting way. Like I never felt like, excited while I was watching this movie for the most part. There's just a couple of sequences where I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but then immediately it's followed by like one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, and I was just like, way
Well,
less
because
cool, way less cool.
I think the issue to all of it too is the fact that like all of like the illegal underground selling shit is just wildly boring and underwritten. It's literally as by the numbers as you can get for a film, and it doesn't even come close to many others.
Well, yeah. See
If I'm
that
being
that that
honest.
when that stuff was probably the most like when I felt the most bored while I was watching the movie. It's stuff like when they're doing like the blood transfusion with the T Rex. That's interesting, but everything around it is absurdly just ridiculous, and it makes no sense. And so, but so you have to wait for a while to get to something that you kind of can try to latch on, and the whole auction thing is really stupid, and just the fact that it's going on in the house, like the whole time I'm just wondering, like, why are you guys doing this like on the mansion property? Shouldn't you be doing it at like an off-site location or something? Like, I don't know why you guys went here to do that, other than like plot convenience, and not to mention the dude, I can't remember his name, but the main bad guy has just committed murder upstairs
Yeah,
that no one is aware of.
he just
There
like
is a
killed like
whole
his uncle
separate
or whatever,
crime, a
whoever's
whole separate crime that is. It's just like, why would you choose to do it all there? And then you've got a fucking girl running around, a clone girl running around,
little clone girl running around the
and
basement of
and
a
also
fucking.
like the way that fucking the main characters disguise themselves is ridiculous as well. And I'm just like, there's I because I can tell that it's only written that way to convenience the plot and to make sure that it like not make sure that it like it's seamless, because clearly it's not, but I can just tell that they didn't have a way to write around it, and so they're just like, well, we'll just do this and hope nobody notices. And then fucking we have to wait for the characters to break out, and it isn't until the monster or the Indoraptor. Don't even get started on the names, but
The
whatever, the Indoraptor or
Indoraptor.
whatever. It's not until that gets set loose that things become interesting again, because that's all I wanted to see, man. I'm sorry, but this is why I like Jurassic Park 3 more than probably anyone else does, is because it's a simple dinosaur movie. Like, that's all I want from these movies. Just set a dinosaur loose and let me see it kill some people, and then we can have some tension with the main characters trying to survive. Like, it's just so baffling to me that these filmmakers can't figure out like why these movies are not necessarily good, but why they're interesting and why we want to see them, and they just keep trying to like do all of the wrong thing. Because that part where like the dinosaur is like, or the Indoraptor is going through the house, like that, I was like, oh, this is interesting, like it's very horror-esque. That's the part where it's like kind of Resident Evil like, and I'm like, this is
That's the
what
cool part.
that's the cool part. I'm like, can't why couldn't this movie have just been about that? Like, if you need it, they didn't need to jump through all these hoops to get us to that part of the movie. And it's just so crazy how that was how they decided they wanted to structure the film.
It's kind of mind boggling, and I don't know, like it just doesn't feel planned out, and that's what keeps bugging me, and that's what I keep going back to is I
Yeah,
keep feel like I got the rug pulled from under me, especially with
we
the
did.
the halfway like twist, I guess you can say, because I was certainly fucking shocked to feel like I was stuck under someone's basement for the next hour and a half. But that's neither here or there. I think we should go and talk about the extended edition of Jurassic World Dominion now, because I cannot fucking wait, brother. You
Yeah,
first, because it was your first time watching it, right?
yeah. I mean, I knew it was going to be bad. And you had told me that it was worse than Dominion, and after watching Fallen Kingdom, I was like, "Damn, how can it really be any worse than this?" And then I hit play, and I'm not gonna lie, like the first 30 minutes of this movie isn't horrible. I mean, it is kind of laughable how quickly they get rid of the side characters from Fallen Kingdom, which I don't know, just leads me to believe that even Colin Trevorrow was just like, it's either that or they were busy because I know Justice Smith was in like that Detective Pikachu movie and he was in the A24 movie. And the other woman, I've seen her in other stuff, so I don't know. Maybe they just maybe they were just like, okay, I did my time on Jurassic World. It's time for me to never come back to this, which is fair because these movies are bad. But it's just really jarring to see them for like 5 minutes and then they just fuck off, like never to be seen
Yeah,
again.
right.
Because this movie already has a problem with introducing a horrible number of characters that are even worse than the ones from the last movie. Somehow this movie does everything that we have ever complained about in these other Jurassic Park movies. This movie does worse somehow.
Somehow, some way, just makes the shit pile worse.
Yeah, but like the first 30 minutes of this movie is about the aftermath of the end of the previous movie, which, you know, I will respect them for at least acknowledging. But then you quickly realize that that's not what the movie is about. It's again,
Ugh.
they start the movie, they set up that the movie is about something that is the movie is not about, because very quickly it becomes about something else. And I remember I looked at the trailers before watching this, and the first trailer is kind of vague in what it's about, and I was like, no, that's fine. And then the second trailer, it's more concrete, like, oh, this movie is about the raptor gets kidnapped, and then they go out to save it. Again, not what this movie is about. Because that, no, don't get me wrong, that does happen. That does happen. But immediately after that, they kidnap Maisie. That is what this movie is not about dinosaurs. This movie is about a rescue mission to save their clone daughter, and in the background you've got the original characters running around with bugs for some reason. It's like that's what this movie is about. Like, it is no longer a Jurassic Park
but
movie.
but Leo, who created the locusts in the
The
film?
locusts. Oh, I
It's
I
in
think
our.
it's
I
I
think it
think
might
it's
be our
funny
friend
that there's so much
Dr.
other.
Henry Wu.
No, okay, that's not what I thought you were gonna say, but um, what I'm talking about is Dodgson. But so I real quick
Oh, that motherfucker too. Yeah,
before we
that
talk about
lonely
that,
ass fucker.
before we talk about that, I just want to note that this is the second time that while we've been talking about these movies specifically, where I have forgotten a very major plot point in the movie because it's been surrounded by other, like, so much other garbage that I like my mind can't handle how stupid it is. Because in the last one, I forgot that Lockwood was a character, and I only remembered when you said something about it. And just now we were talking about the stupidity of this movie, and I forgot about Dodgson and Henry Wu. So let's talk about that, because I watched this entire movie, which is almost 3 hours,
We want, bro. This is the extended cut too, guys.
and I did not realize who Peter Parker's dad was supposed to be in this movie. I They said his name several times. I saw the fucking shaving cream can, and I still did not realize who he was. I even saw him get killed by the same goddamn dinosaurs that killed Nedry in the first one, and I
It's
just
still.
never realized it. And I'm gonna be honest, I really hate that this movie, the one time that this movie didn't think to lose all self respect and just explain it to me,
It's,
I, that's the one part where I was just like, okay, this is the one where I needed you to like dumb it down for me. Because one, it's a different actor because the original actor is like a sex offender or something, and he's a completely different character. Like, his personality is completely different from the first movie. Like, and we only see him in one scene in the original one. So I'm
and
like,
he's
it's
like
like I
this, like
need,
sussed out CIA agent type of guy.
yeah, and I'm just like, I need more explanation for this. And so I I think it was 2 days after I watched this movie that I saw it in a video. I saw it in a video about this movie where they referenced him being from the original, and I stopped in my tracks and I quickly looked it up. And yeah, that's the character. Dodgson is the character, or the CEO, the main bad guy in this movie, is the character Dodgson from the original Jurassic Park that gives Nedry the weird Barbasol can so that he can steal some of the embryos for his company, which is revealed to be Biosyn.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's it.
ridiculous.
That's literally it.
Just such a dumb. This movie is dumb. I'm sorry, but it is.
No, you shouldn't be sorry. They need to hear it. It's fucking stupid. Like,
And this movie is like we talked about how like overcomplicated the other one was. This movie is overstuffed. It's overstuffed, but nothing happens.
it's an overstuffed movie with no like level of competent writing. Like, there's no detail in anything. It's just a bunch of characters doing these random events to get someone back, and the world just like, oh, this one bug's just eating all the crops. Like, oh my god, guys, like, guys,
Well, what's funny
oh,
about that is that that's not even the main plot of the movie.
no, bro. There's like three plots of this movie.
Yeah, because you've got I don't know. I just how do I even explain the weird structure of this movie? Because we start with 30 minutes of like Maisie's identity crisis, which while I was watching it, I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. There's some character things going on, and then the relationship that she or the strained relationship she has with her now adoptive parents. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. But then the movie quickly devolves into this weird action spectacle movie. And I don't mean that in the way that I like.
Not like Jurassic
It's
World.
not, yeah, not like Jurassic World or Jurassic Park. It's like there's a car chase
In what, Morocco or
in
something?
Malta.
Malta, that's
There's
it.
a motorcycle chase in Malta, and there's like several scenes of like hand to hand action, and I'm just like, that's not the movie. I don't want to watch.
I don't want to watch the dinosaurs fight. I don't want to see them eating people in the background of someone else fighting in
Yeah,
front.
yeah.
Like,
It's like I don't want to watch Bargain Bin Mission Impossible because that's what it feels like. This is this movie feels like Mission Impossible, but to avoid like legal ramifications, they just threw dinosaurs in it or something.
it wants to be like a spy espionage so
That's yeah,
bad,
exactly.
but
And I'm
just
just
does it
like, why?
all poorly.
Jurassic Park is not a spy. This is not James Bond,
But it's really weird that they decided to do it in the one film that they promised dinosaurs being like
the main
in
attraction.
in the real world, and it makes it even weirder because that's how they end the film, where it's like dinosaurs and life are living in cohabitance. Like,
In this
that's not.
movie, in
Yeah.
this movie, they don't do they end it that way?
Well, they end it both ways. They tell you that it's in a nature preserve, but then the last shot shows them walking together. So are they across the world or are they not? Because
Both, unfortunately.
that's what I'm saying. So they're telling you two different things, and like, I'm not. This is not a spoiler, but then the next film also fucking retcons both of these. So it's really annoying that no one can consistently just figure out where the fuck the dinosaurs want to go. Like, come on, guys. There's only so many areas.
I find it funny that that both this movie and the next one, Rebirth, are so like averse to the ending of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom that I'm honestly surprised the studio committed to that ending.
But what makes it worse is it's the same person who wrote it. Like, that's what I don't
Well,
get.
that's I think the only reason why it changes like from movie to movie is because people hated that ending, the ending of Fallen Kingdom so much that it kind of reminds me of like the Last Jedi and like Rise of Skywalker, which funnily enough, Colin Trevorrow was originally supposed to direct Rise of Skywalker. But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about those movies sometime. But I just find it funny that they every time with these movies they just have to hard pivot because something was so dumb. And we keep using that. We keep calling these movies dumb and stupid. It's probably gonna get annoying. But I don't know. I don't know how else to describe them. That's just what they are. Like there's no intelligence. There's no intelligent thought put into how these movies were made or any of the story elements. And it's worse in Dominion because of just how I don't know how else to explain it other than like the plot of this movie is so underdeveloped that even you can tell like as they were shooting it they were struggling to like figure out what to do on set, because like the scene where there's several scenes of dialogue that I'm just like that was weird, like the scene where Laura Dern's character is introduced and the whole thing about the locusts, that scene is horrible. And then the scene where Alan and Ellie are trapped in the locust lab area or whatever, and they're like, it's very obvious that they're just they don't know what to do and they're kind of just flailing around. But Laura Dern is like screaming for some reason. I'm just like, they're locusts, like they're not flesh eating.
Well,
I don't know. It was just really weird to me.
to go back to what you were saying before about like how I forgot if it was either Fallen Kingdom or Jurassic World, that you said it about, but where someone just says like someone's name constantly. The first 45 minutes to an hour of this film, anytime a character just meets up with a character in the movie for the first time, they always say, "Oh, you're Dr. Ian Malcolm. Oh, you're Dr. Alan Grant. Oh, you're Owen Grady." Like, bro, they always say their full names as if no one's one either met them, two, the audience has never seen them. Like, bro, why do you guys keep saying this? And they don't. It's I only point it out like this because they always say it in such an awkward and slow demeanor.
Because no one talks like that.
Exactly. It's just like
They're playing it up for the camera and it's so ridiculous. And
the assistant guy. I like when he first introduces himself, bro. It's
yeah.
really annoying. He's like, "Oh, hi, Doctor. You're Doctor Ian Malcolm.
Hmm.
You're Alan Grant." And I'm like, "Brother, what are
It's
you
fine.
doing?"
It's kind of fine when like the main characters from each franchise sort of meet each other, but when everyone else does it, it's really
No,
weird.
it's every
And
character doing it with
the
one
part
another.
that you're talking about is I saw the trailer for Jurassic World Dominion, like the first one, and it has that part where Alan and Ellie see each other for the first time and they just say each other's names, like their full names.
Dude, literally a moment right after that, another good one is when oh my god, what's his name from the first movie that we didn't realize was the villain of this
Dodgson.
one? Dodson. Like his intro to Alan Grant is so weird. Like he just randomly exits the conversation. Nothing happens, but he's just like, "Oh guys, I gotta go. Goodbye. Enjoy the park." Like what? Okay.
Yeah, it's
It,
I don't know.
it's all really
Literally
bad
most
writing.
of the dialogue in this movie is really weird, and like especially once the characters like their plot lines converge and they're like together the whole time, all that dialogue is bad. To the point of like I was just like I need you guys to like stop talking and I need something dinosaur related to happen. That's the problem with this movie. So much of this movie is unrelated to dinosaurs. It's honestly like laughable.
Yeah, it's really questionable. Like, why are you guys gonna call a movie about like fucking locusts and hunting down a genetically modified human being, like in a
Yeah.
movie universe about dinosaurs? Like, I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but like, I came to a fucking movie called Jurassic World. I don't want to watch a fucking genetically altered 11-year-old run around and be kidnapped. Like, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, dude. Oh, that's it. So that we should talk about that now. So they retcon in this movie what we were told in the previous movie that Lockwood
That's oh my
cloned his daughter.
god.
Um, I can't remember her name, her original
No,
name,
you stupid
um,
motherfuckers! That actually is not true.
but
Yeah,
yeah, in this movie, who of all characters, but none other than Henry Wu, he explains to us to the audience that not only is that not true, but it was his daughter that cloned herself, but not in the way that you think. Like it wasn't in like a tube or anything.
it was in
She
her tummy or
yeah,
her uterus,
she
whatever.
cloned herself and gave birth to herself. She cloned herself.
I've never actually like said it out loud. It makes it sound a
It's
lot dumber,
stupid
bro. It makes it sound a
because
lot
it's so
dumber,
fucking
bro.
dumb. Like as soon as the words leave as soon as the words leave your lips, it's just
You just
so
know it's stupid. You just
ungodly
know.
ridiculous. So yeah, she
Oh, that
clones herself
hurts.
and gives birth to it, which is Maisie.
Oh my
Um,
god. That's awful, bro. I'm never gonna
uh,
unhear that. She just gives
I can't.
birth to
Okay, I've said
herself.
it too much. I won't say that again. But
it's it's
that's
awful,
they
bro.
retconned that into existence for some reason because it wasn't confusing enough already, and yeah, she was a scientist or something, and she had some fucking disease or something, and so I guess that's the reason why. No, that wasn't the reason why. No, it would make more sense if that was the reason why she cloned herself, but it's not. She found out after she cloned herself, and so
She was
then
dying.
she
She
altered
altered the kid
Maisie's she
with
altered Maisie's
DNA.
DNA to rid itself of the disease.
How?
Didn't do it
I
for
don't know.
herself. Didn't do it for herself. She dies, and then somehow she ends up in the care of her grandfather. So she's you know how dumb this is. It's the same thing with you remember when in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, in that movie it's explained that somehow Palpatine had kids, which
Yeah,
is disturbing
is
enough as it
is
is.
is the world's worst thought.
Yeah, so Ray Palpatine is is
Oh,
is Emperor
dude, stop.
Palpatine's granddaughter. But in the book, in like the novelization of that movie, it's explained that Ray's father is a clone, a failed clone of Emperor
Palpatine,
Palpatine.
right? Yeah.
So it's kind of similar in this that not only is Maisie her clone, she's also somehow her daughter.
Yeah, so we know where they got that idea from.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's so unbelievably
awful. Dog
baffling.
shit.
Yeah, awful.
Like, if I can find other words, bro. Like,
I just
derogatory. Like, I feel offended, bro.
I
Like,
don't understand how they thought that reveal was gonna go over well. But yeah, so
every
they
reveal they've
they
done after the first has been stupid.
everything about that plot is just so awful and boring. Like every time it cuts back to Owen Grady and Claire, the main characters of this trilogy, just completely lost interest. I was like, this isn't interesting, or it's not fun to watch. Like I don't care about um, Owen racing through the streets of Malta with these genetically modified raptors that
That follows someone who puts a dot.
yeah,
Like,
you
cool.
point a laser at someone and they go chasing after it because I guess they're cats or something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it's there's so much more about this movie that doesn't make sense. Like there's another character that's introduced. She's like a smuggler or whatever, and she wants to help them for some reason that's never clear. And then all of this is just to get to the bias insight where everything the rest of the movie is, and it all unfolds really stupidly. The characters get back together in a way that doesn't make sense, and then there's another like T-Rex thing. I like how all these movies ends with like a weird um
T-Rex
dinosaur
battle.
fight. Like it works in the first one, and then this one it's just really dumb. And dude, did you see the part where the T-Rex made the logo of this
Yeah, yeah,
movie?
dude, of course, bro. That's the most iconic part. They put that in all the trailers, bro. That was the end. Like, guys, you get that reference, right? Like, no, beat it over my fucking ass even more,
And
please. I
see,
love
that's
it.
the thing. That's the other thing that I don't like about this movie is that the climax of it is them trying to escape the reserve, the nature reserve or whatever. But it has little to do with like the dinosaurs. And there is a dinosaur present, but it's not as exciting because that's not their main goal. Their main goal is not to escape the dinosaurs; it's to escape the bias in people, which is just weird. And the end, you quickly realize why they introduced that other character, that pilot, is so that they can have someone to fly the helicopter. And then that other dude comes in, the assistant who's been helping Ian Malcolm. And I just sitting there wondering, like, how are you all going to fit in that tiny ass helicopter?
they made
Like,
dude, they made it work with the iconic That's how I fucking
Yeah.
felt watching them just like all look off, and I'm like, oh wow.
And Henry Wu joins them as well.
Well, yeah, bro. He's like I said.
He
He
has a change of
realizes.
heart.
Yeah, he has a change of heart. He realizes what happening is not very good because his self greed is harming others. And he's like, no, 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 no. We have to make the locust really good. They have to like be helping the crops. We can't kill them either, guys. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, oh, dude, we're all gonna die. Well, yeah, no shit, bro. This has literally happened like two other times. Like, what?
Well, I like how all of the other characters are like so resistant because like it just brings to the forefront, like it highlights how untrustworthy he's been this past all of these past movies, and only for just on a whim they're like, oh, he's good again, it's fine, and I'm just like, whatever. This movie is so I don't know.
Dude, it's
I can't.
frustrating. This is why
Yes,
I don't like it. This is why I don't like it. You just sit here and you constantly question, why'd you do this? Bro,
yeah,
why'd that
exactly.
person do that? You know what? Why are
Character
we just in the
motivation
middle
out the
of
window.
Like, why are we in the middle of fucking Malta just watching this dude get chased on a motorcycle, and then all of a sudden two T-Rexes that got loose just eat this dude on a fucking scooter? Like, okay. Like, it just all
Yeah,
seems like a bunch of random events
it
thrown
is random.
together just thrown together to find a genetically modified baby dino human. Um, you know what? Whatever the fuck she is, I can't really tell you. They might change it if they reintroduce her again.
Maybe. But yeah, so that is the end of Jurassic World Dominion, and we say a crushing goodbye to all of our favorite
It's
characters.
not crushing.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean,
Oh,
I do
oh my god!
enjoy.
No, I'm sorry. Watching the end of this film felt like Colin Trevorrow took the fucking 9 millimeter, put it up to Laura Dern's head, pulled the trigger, pulled it up to everyone's head while they were on their knees, pulled the trigger. The film got released. He put the fucking film roll on the ground and then took a 12 gauge and just blasted that bitch. That's how this feels like. Like,
But yeah, I like seeing the original cast like interacting with each other again. Like they've still got it, but you can see they're struggling with like the direction that the movie's going in,
if
and
they
it's
got
just so
any.
weird that you have a paleontologist and what the fuck was she in the first one? She was a like a plant something or whatever. Hold on,
Yeah,
I'm trying to
paleontologist. I thought
remember.
she was
Paleobotanist is what she was.
paleobotanist.
She's a
That's what it was.
paleobotanist, and you've got Ian Malcolm, who is just like a mathematician or something. But instead of us, because that was the thing in the original, like they use their qualifications in that movie, but in this one, it's about bugs. Like their entire plot is about bugs, and it's like that has nothing to do with anything that they are involved with. I get that they're like prehistoric locusts, but like, okay, and yeah, so that's the downside, is that they're constantly being forced to say something stupid, with the dialogue, and or do something stupid, like when Laura Dern has to stand up on a tractor that's, I don't know,
And look
maybe a
really,
couple more inches
she
off the
looks really
ground than
cool
she
though,
originally
bro.
was. And it's only then that she realizes, oh, the locusts have destroyed the field. And it recreates that moment from the first one where like she takes off the glasses and stares in bewilderment. And I'm just like, this is dumb. Like,
But then the camera just reveals she's looking at a dead cornfield.
yeah.
Bro, the thing. Do you remember that little side comment you made to me after we finished the show about a specific individual relationship from that first Jurassic
Oh,
Park film?
okay. Yeah. So, after we stopped recording the last episode, I couldn't figure out how to bring it up when we were talking about Jurassic Park 3, but just as like a tidbit, um, Laura Dern wasn't originally going to be in the movie, but the writers came up with a way to incorporate her, in that she is integral to them surviving at the end,
Mm.
and so she signed on to do it. But one of the things that Joe Johnston really didn't want to see them as a couple, because he didn't think it was believable, and his main reason was that uh, Alan Grant looks, older, and Laura Dern looks like she hasn't aged in the past 15 years, which is true. That was true at the time. Um, and just thought it was really funny that Laura Dern was just so gorgeously beautiful that he in his head he couldn't think of them as a couple, and then you said that you never thought that they were a couple, and I'm just like, um, I mean, it's very vague, kind of, but that is kind of the main point of that movie is that
It's not vegan
she wants to have
Dominion.
kids and he doesn't, and that's it was a whole thing. But anyways, so yeah, in this
This
movie,
film kind of undoes all that in a way
it
too.
does, because she's
Like
married in Jurassic Park 3, and then in this
his
one,
first
she
question is
goes
like,
out of
"What
her
about the
way.
children?"
Yeah, she goes out of her way to explain, or the writers make go out of their way to explain that she's
That
no
she's
longer married to
divorced.
that dude,
Yeah.
and the whole time Alan is just giving like hard, like I want to
Bro,
fuck you vibes.
he just fumbles the bag for like the next hour straight. The dude's just tripping over his words. He's looking at her, and all the entire time she's just looking right back at him with the whole "fuck me" eye. He's like, you're just like, dude, what is going on? Any moment, I felt like they were just gonna have sex, no matter if a dinosaur or whatever you want to call those giant lizard fucking things in the caves were. Like, it didn't matter if they were in the locust nest either. Wherever I thought she was ready to fuck. Like,
Well, it's weird too because even Maisie like comments about it while they're in those tunnels.
she's
She's
always
like,
looking.
"Oh, are you guys married?" And she's like, "Oh no, we're good friends." And he's like, "Yeah, good friends." And you can just see the like hurt in his soul that he had to say that. And then she's like, but you do you have kids?" And he was like, "No, I don't." And she was like, "Yeah, I have like two or three or whatever." And then she immediately looks back at Alan and she's like, "With him?" And they're like, "No, no, 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 no." And I'm just like, this is so awkward for no reason. But
Yeah,
yeah, they kiss at the end. The
it's
reason we're talking about this
unbearable,
is because they kiss the end. I guess even the film,
and it's forced.
it
And I hate the
I
line,
hate
"Hey, you want to come with me? You want to come with me on my next expedition, bro?" You're
absolutely,
asking him. He's like fucking 80 now. Like what? Why would he
but
want to come with you? Bro, you still got 20 years on him. Like, even though you're both older, you still got 20 years. This motherfucker could barely walk. Like, what? Why do you think the set pieces were designed the way they were? Like,
but
why do you
yeah,
think they were saving this giant ass head instead of running away from it? Like,
um, but yeah, so I guess even the filmmakers realized that it wasn't clear. I hate to see, I hate to keep bringing up Star Wars, but it is very similar in that, like,
it's very evocative.
yeah, because there was that whole moment in the Rise of Skywalker when Chewie gets the medal from the original movie
Mm,
because Star Wars fans have been bitching about it for 40 years, and so yeah,
mm.
I don't know. I like some of the moments in this movie, but it pales in comparison to the rest of this garbage that I was forced to watch. Like I'm not like I don't know. After watching these movies and talking about them, I'm a little less excited for Jurassic World Rebirth. Because I remember when that trailer came out, I was like, "Oh, they're
It's
making
not
another one of
good.
these." Because the big marketing ploy with this movie was that, "Oh, witness the epic conclusion," and
To the
then
Jurassic World franchise.
yeah, but then you have the new one that is a part of the same franchise. And when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, maybe they're rebooting it again." But no, it's 100% takes place after this movie. Like they're all connected still.
No, yeah, it takes years after, place years
But
after.
I'm
Like,
just like I now I'm less interested knowing how stupid all of this is and knowing that, there's no way to feasibly continue this franchise anymore. I'm kind of getting tired of seeing these movies cuz
no,
most of them
they're
are
not
bad.
good. They're not good.
There's only two or three of them that I enjoy watching.
I well, bro, why do you think I was like kind of harping so much last week on Jurassic Park 3 and why like I was kind of giving it more praise is because even though it plays it fairly safe,
These
it's
movies make that movie look like
that's
fucking
what I'm
masterpiece.
saying, bro. Like
Jurassic
in
Park
every
3 is
way.
the Godfather, or is like the Godfather Part 2 in comparison.
All right, let's go to like final grades since I'm pretty sure people know how we're feeling. So we'll just give our grades and the reviews we put, and then you
I
can
actually
rank
did
them. We can rank them after.
These movies are so bad that I didn't give them reviews. That's
Oh no, I gave them reviews.
because
Don't you worry.
if I don't have much to say about a movie, I won't review it or I won't leave a review. Um, but yeah, so I'll let you go first on.
All right, for Jurassic World, I gave it a 4 on Letterbox. Pretty sure the direction for Chris Pratt the entire film was just look stoic. For Kingdom, I gave it a star and a half, and it's just a tale of two halves. But then we get to Dominion, no stars, because fuck that shit, doesn't deserve any. I don't know why people didn't start freaking out about AI generated shit after this released. And I think we can all figure out the context of that joke. But you know what? Good riddance. And I think there's a good reason we haven't heard of Colin Trevorrow since.
Yeah, I'll do my reviews and then we can do the ranking. So I gave Jurassic World from 2015 a 4 out of 5 stars. The climax of this movie is a little absurd, but there's something about it that makes the child inside me really happy. That was my review. Then we have Fallen Kingdom. I gave that a 2.5 stars out of 5. And my review was honestly kind of fun in places, but don't be mistaken, the plot of this film is utterly ridiculous, and there really should be a cap on the runtime of these movies. This movie was 2.5 hours, by the way, and I felt them.
I felt the first 2 hours and 29 minutes.
And then for Jurassic World Dominion, I gave it a 1.5 stars, and my review was I quoted Ian Malcolm saying, "Jurassic World, not a fan." Mm-mm. And I just said, "Me neither, Jeff. Me neither."
My boy knows. My boy knows. Do you have the
Also,
ranking
I just
too?
want to say that I rated and reviewed Dominion before I had finished it. That's how
Oh,
bad
that's
it was
unfortunate.
because I knew
That's
exactly what I wanted to
unfortunate.
say.
Yeah, 30 minutes left. You're like, yeah, there's nothing that's redeeming this piece of shit.
Nope. No, I knew as soon as we got to the climax, I was like, this movie's not going to get any better.
No, it's
If
gonna go
anything, it
down
might
more.
get worse.
Yeah, it'll just go down more.
So
All
yeah,
right,
what are your rankings?
so we'll do this. I'll do my first three, and then you do your first three, and then I'll just do the last four, and then you do the last
I mean, I
four.
feel like our first three are going to be the same.
I feel like so too, but my first number one is Jurassic Park, number two is Jurassic World, and then number three is Jurassic Park 3.
Shockingly, my top three are Jurassic Park, the GOAT, Jurassic World, and then Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, shocking. Which is funny because too many people like The Lost World. Too
Yeah,
many
so
people.
what's funny about that is that I've seen a lot of Jurassic Park rankings recently,
And it's at
and
the bottom.
they all
It's
put The Lost World as
second.
number 2 or number 3, and they put Jurassic Park 3. Honestly, I've seen some rate it lower than Fallen Kingdom, which is wrong. You're wrong. I'm sorry. They're
It's
wrong.
illegal.
No, yeah, you're just wrong. There's no way we watched the same movies and came out with completely different ideas. Jurassic Park 3 is it's not a great movie, but it's just fun to watch. And Fallen Kingdom and Dominion both just make my head hurt. So, what are
All
your
right.
next three?
So I have Rebirth included on this one. I won't talk about it, but I think like it'll give you an idea of how I feel about it in context to these three that we talked about. So
Mm.
for four, I got The Lost World. For number five, I've got Fallen Kingdom. And then I've got Rebirth at number six, and then Dominion coming in last at number seven.
Damn, you think Rebirth is worse than Fallen Kingdom?
Dude, it's 130 to 40 minutes shorter. It
Isn't
was
that a good
shot on
thing?
film. That's my point. It it was shot on film, so it looks good at least. You know what? I like the actors a lot more. you know, but I'll just keep it for there because we might
What
do
makes it
do an
worse than
episode on
Fallen
that.
Kingdom to you?
So the best way I can explain it without going too far in is think about what Jurassic World did right, and then just take that all away. It just made all of what Jurassic World did really boring.
Isn't that what
Because it's
Fallen Kingdom is, though?
no, trust me, trust me. Just watch the film. That's all. I don't want to like do like a whole spoiler thing on it
Yeah.
right
All
now.
right. My next ones is I have The Lost World Jurassic Park. It's boring and it's long, but there's some interesting stuff in it. Then we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, shit movie. Jurassic World Dominion is the last one, which is just, I don't know. I don't even know if you can think of it as a movie because it's not much of one, in my opinion.
It's a false prophet. That's what I would call it. Um,
All
all
right,
right,
yeah.
Leo,
So,
what are we watching next week?
all right. I told you these. I told you these next few weeks were going to be a little hectic. So next week we are talking about three movies again, and it's going to be a two-parter again because the new Superman movie is coming out. Excited to see that. So we're going to be talking about the first three Superman movies: Superman the movie from 1970 something. Hold on, when did this movie come out?
I think 79, 78.
1978.
Yeah.
Then we're going to talk about Superman 2, which came out in. Okay, the theatrical version came out in 1980, but then the version that we're going to watch, we're not watching. I'm not going to watch that movie again. I'm sorry, I
Well, can we
can't.
find the Donner Cut anywhere?
You can rent or buy it on Amazon.
Okay,
I have
that's
it on
easy.
Blu-ray.
That's fine.
I
Like,
don't. I will never bring Superman, the original version of Superman 2, into my home ever.
it's
That
fine. It's
was
on Max. Doesn't have to be in your
Superman.
home.
Superman 2, the theatrical version is a horrendous movie. We'll talk about it a little bit because you can't really talk about the Richard Donner cut without comparing it. But I'm not going to watch it again. And then yeah, we're going to talk about Superman 3. So I've never seen Superman 3 or 4, so that'll be interesting. And then the week
It'll
after
be
that,
interesting.
yeah, the week after that, we'll talk about Superman 4, Superman Returns, and then Man of Steel. We're going to do all of the Superman movies or the solo ones.
Yeah, because we got Superman coming out this week. Fun.
Yep. So yeah, it's going to be a lot again.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.